Alright everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Opening day, April 1st, 2021 is tomorrow. Regular season baseball is back, spring training is officially behind us, and this is a moment we've all been waiting for since October when the Dodgers were crowned the 2020 World Series champions. That's right, the first game in a 162-game schedule for the first time since 2019 is starting within 24 hours from right now. Major League Baseball is back. I cannot wait. And in today's video, I'm going to give you guys the top 10 teams heading into the 2021 regular season. This is going to be a power rankings video for the top 10 teams with opening day tomorrow. So 10 teams to really watch out for. They're going to make some waves early on and be a prominent name here in this upcoming season. Guys, if you're ready for this one, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get into it. The top 10 teams going into 2021. So first, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my list as of today, March 31st, 2021, and then we're going to compare it to Major League Baseball's list that they published on February 22nd, so a little over a month ago. The lists are going to vary just a little bit. There are a few key differences that we'll discuss a little bit later on. My first power rankings here on the channel, and first of 2021, has the St. Louis Cardinals coming in at number 10. We then head out to the American League East for the Tampa Bay Rays at 9 and Toronto Blue Jays at 8. Shifting over to the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins will land 7th here on my list, directly one spot in front of them, Chicago White Sox, who I have 6th. Sneaking into the top 5 here, in the National League East, the New York Mets. We also go ahead and look at the same division for number 4, where we have the Atlanta Braves. And with the final 3 spots here on the list, it will be rounded out with the San Diego Padres, New York Yankees, and Los Angeles Dodgers. There were a few teams I was trying to decide from when it came to that number 10 spot here on my list. I inevitably chose the St. Louis Cardinals. With Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt at the corners, they have some great defense and 2 huge power bats. Yadier Molina behind the plate is a veteran. Everyone loves him, and he's still going to produce both at the plate and behind the plate. Up the middle, Paul DeJong, and I would assume Matt Carpenter over at second base. 2 big names that have been prominent in Major League Baseball over the course of the past few seasons. Their outfield looks to be pretty good. I like their pitching staff. Jack Flaherty can really bounce back here. Adam Wainwright, Carlos Martinez, Jordan Hicks is back, and in the bullpen, Andrew Miller is still very much a part of this team. I like where the St. Louis Cardinals are at. I think they're going to be very competitive here in 2021, but I'm not sure if right now I can rank them any higher than 10th. So I have the Rays, Blue Jays, and Twins 9th, 8th, and 7th here in this list respectively. I was really trying to tinker with this order. I wasn't sure who I wanted where. I looked back to Major League Baseball's list sort of as a crutch, which I will discuss momentarily, but I just had to go with this order. The Rays, Blue Jays, and Minnesota Twins. I think out of these 3 teams, the Twins have the most complete team. Their lineup looks to be good, and the key here is the pitching staff. Their starters are going to be a lot better than the Blue Jays and Rays, at least when you're looking at the top 5 men in the rotation. Well, the bullpen is better for the Tampa Bay Rays. Pitching wins games, and your starters are going to account for the first few innings of any given ball game. I just think Minnesota edges out over the Rays and Jays. Now, between Tampa and Toronto, the Blue Jays have the better lineup, in my opinion. Infield is incredible. Evan Biggio, Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, and Vlad Jr. Danny Jansen behind the plate. In the outfield, of course, George Springer in center. Then you can go Randall Grichuk, Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. If I'm being honest, I do like Toronto's lineup 1 to 9 better than the Minnesota Twins, but pitching is going to be huge here. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, yes, they have Hyunjin Ryu, Robbie Ray, and Steven Matz as 3 of their bigger pieces in the starting rotation. I don't think that's enough quite yet. The Chicago White Sox are an organization I fully expect to see much higher in future power rankings. Just right now, I was trying to figure out who goes where, and I like my top 5 teams. I'm not sure if I'm set on the order. The Chicago White Sox, I think, can be higher. The second best team in the American League, if it was up to me. They have a great lineup. I mean, absolutely filthy. Some heavy hitters, a lot of talent within the organization. Their pitching staff is solid. 1 to 4 in the rotation. Giolito, Keuchel, Lynn, Michael Kopech. They're going to be closing out games with Liam Hendricks in the bullpen. I love the Chicago White Sox going into this season, but just with the teams in front of them, I was trying to slide them up. But before a single game has been played in the regular season, I couldn't find them any higher than 6. And that's just because the talent and potential with these next 5 teams is absolutely out of this world. The New York Mets 5. I had the Mets and Braves 1 and 1A essentially. It really could have been in any order. I ended up going with the New York Mets at number 5. Again, this is a team like the Chicago White Sox. I expect to be higher. I would have loved to place higher. Just my gut's telling me that they're going to rank right here in the middle of the list. They have a good pitching staff. Their lineup looks to be really solid. Francisco Lindor is coming in for his first season with the team. James McCann as well. And you look at all the additions they made this winter, and they are going to be a huge threat in 2021. Again, I expect them to be higher, but just as of right now, I'm putting the Mets 5th. The Atlanta Braves is filled with all-star names. Freddie Freeman, Ronald Acuna Jr., Marcelo Zuna, Travis d'Arnaud, Ozzie Albies. Just, I love this team. I don't know how they're going to stack up against the New York Mets. It's going to be neck and neck within the division, let alone in power rankings. Again, the Mets and Braves are very much a 1 and 1A type team. Atlanta's starting pitching rotation is not terrible. Their bullpen could use a little more help. The Braves have a very strong lineup. Their pitching staff might not be as strong, but just the Mets and Braves, again, very much are a 1 and 1A type team. I have the Braves 4. They definitely do not crack the top 3, but anyone can make that point that the Braves could rank a little bit lower before the first game of 2021. Now for me, the top 3 was a no-brainer, both in the order that I put them and the teams that I'm including. The San Diego Padres at number 3 are most definitely capable of filling in that number 2 spot in this list. However, I think the best teams in both the American League and National League should fill the first 2 spots. That's in my opinion. The season hasn't started yet, and we know that the Dodgers and Yankees are going to be very strong. I think they are the favorites in both the National League and American League respectively to go all the way this year. For the San Diego Padres, they do not have a single hole on this roster. The lineup on both sides of the ball is going to produce to a very high caliber. Fernando Tatis Jr., Manny Machado, Jake Cronenworth, Trent Grisham. The list continues to go on and on. They've got a lot of young guys like we just mentioned. There's just a lot of guys to love a part of this organization. You look at the starting pitching staff, Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Nelson Lamet, Chris Paddock, Joe Musgrove. That's one of the best rotations in Major League Baseball. Their bullpen might be a little weak, but overall I think this San Diego Padres team is absolutely going to go off here this upcoming year. At number 2, I briefly touched on it already, but the New York Yankees, who are, in my eyes, the best team in the American League. When this entire squad is healthy, they are going to be one of the most dominant forces in the game. Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, DJ LeMahieu, Luke Voigt, Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks, Gio Urshela. What? They're all on the same team? Then you look at the starting pitching rotation. Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber, Jamison Tyone, Jordan Montgomery, Davey Garcia, Luis Severino's coming back. If everyone can stay healthy throughout the entire duration of the season, or at least a hefty majority of these games, the New York Yankees will by far become the best team in the AL. I think they already are, but they do have a lot to prove, even though they are such a successful organization. I have them number 2 here on this list, being that they are the best team in the AL. I think that is only fitting. Again, I can see the San Diego Padres above the New York Yankees, but for me, it's going to be New York at number 2. And this should be no shock at all. The Los Angeles Dodgers at number 1. They are projected to be the best team in Major League Baseball throughout the entire duration of the season. One of the early World Series favorites for this upcoming year, coming off of a 2020 World Series title. This team, for the most part, stayed the same over the course of the offseason with one exception, and that is that they added Trevor Bauer, last year's National League Cy Young Award winner. Their rotation is nasty. Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, Trevor Bauer, David Price, Tony Gonsolin, Dustin May. Their lineup is incredible. Will Smith behind the plate from left to right in the infield. Justin Turner, Corey Seager, Chris Taylor, Max Muncy. And then in the outfield, AJ Pollock, Cody Bellinger, and Mookie Betts. This team is going to be unshakable. The best team in the National League, in the National League West, and the best team in Major League Baseball. Of course, they're going to be at number 1 here, as opening day is right around the corner and the season gets ready to start. MLB's power rankings list for the first week of the season has the Houston Astros number 10, Tampa Bay Rays 9, Toronto Blue Jays 8, Minnesota Twins landing at number 7, and the Chicago White Sox coming in at number 6. For the top 5, you have the New York Mets taking home that number 5 spot, the Braves filling in at number 4, followed up by the New York Yankees at 3, San Diego Padres at 2, and Los Angeles Dodgers being number 1. So if we look at Major League Baseball's top 10 power rankings from February 22nd, from 10 to 6 in their list, they had the Houston Astros, Tampa Bay Rays, Toronto Blue Jays, Minnesota Twins, and Chicago White Sox. Now, my list was identical to Major League Baseball's with one exception, and that's including the St. Louis Cardinals. I had the Cardinals over the Houston Astros just because I really love their team. Hey, you have Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Yadier Molina, middle of the infield being Paul DeJong, Matt Carpenter. Then you also have their starting pitching staff, which I think does outplay the Houston Astros, at least in the early stages of the regular season. Zach Greinke, Jake Odorizzi being the two vets for the Houston Astros. The St. Louis Cardinals have some really nice names in their top three. Jack Flaherty, Adam Wainwright, Carlos Martinez. Though the Houston Astros lineup might be a little bit better, even though a lot of their big name players struggled in 2020, I'm still going to go ahead and stick with the St. Louis Cardinals at my number 10 as compared to Major League Baseball with the Houston Astros. Then from 9 to 6, both Major League Baseball's list and my list is identical. I talked about it earlier before. I really wanted the Toronto Blue Jays to move up a little bit in this rankings list, at least the first list of the season. Just I couldn't bring myself to do that. It comes down to pitching staff, and the Minnesota Twins have a better 5-man rotation at the time. So Rays, Jays, Twins, and White Sox. Again, the White Sox are another team that easily could have been promoted and climbed their way up a little bit here in the list as the number 2 team in the American League. In the future, I think they can climb past the Mets, the Braves, some of those teams, especially if they really go off on a tear. This is all going to depend on how teams play to start the season, if they get off to a hot or cold start. Temporarily, I have the same exact list as Major League Baseball from the 9th to 6th spot here in the power rankings. But again, a lot of these teams I think are very capable of moving up a bit. The Chicago White Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays, even the Minnesota Twins and Tampa Bay Rays. From 5th to 1st, MLB had the New York Mets, Atlanta Braves, New York Yankees, San Diego Padres, and then the Los Angeles Dodgers. My top 5 was the Mets, Braves, Padres, Yankees, and then LA at number 1. So the big difference here is the switch of the San Diego Padres and the New York Yankees. I've already given you guys my thoughts on that. I think the top 2 teams, one from each league, should be the first 2 spots before the season starts. The first weekend, if the San Diego Padres are really off to a hot start, then you can put them above the New York Yankees. But right now, I like New York where it's at. Now, to address 5th and 4th in my power rankings list, it's the same as Major League Baseball's. The Mets and Braves, a 1 and 1A type team. With New York being a local team and me growing up liking the Mets and the Yankees, I wanted to put the Mets in front of the Atlanta Braves, and not even just for that reason. I mean, again, you look back to Stephen Cohen when he came in with the organization in November or December of 2020, and all the moves he instantly made and that he was able to make over time as the winter progressed. The enhancements that he made for this roster are going to prove to be positive enforcements for this organization over time and in the 2021 season. James McCann behind the plate, Francisco Lindor at shortstop. They picked up Kevin Pillar, Albert Almora Jr. for center field. Those 2 moves are more for defensive reinforcements. And then you look at the pitching staff. They added Trevor Mates to the bullpen and Aaron Loop. Edwin Diaz has looked good in spring training. You still have Familia, Blevins, Lugo, all of them for the later innings. The starting rotation, Jacob deGrom. Carlos Carrasco was acquired. He's going to start the season hurt. He will eventually be part of this team. And so will Noah Syndergaard as he recovers from Tommy John. He'll come back about halfway through the year. Then you have Marcus Stroman, David Peterson, Joey Lucchesi. I like what the Mets are putting together, and I really want to put them in front of the Atlanta Braves. I looked back to Major League Baseball's list. I got a little weary of putting New York in front of Atlanta. But other than that, I like how my list ended. But guys, that's going to end it for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. What does your power rankings look like for opening day and the first week of the 2021 regular season? Let me know down below in the comment section. But guys, that's going to be it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.